Hollywood is still reeling in shock over the audience rejection of the Marvels. Even in quarters where it never would have been admitted before, there's a realization that the problem here isn't the audience, but that Disney went too far in feminizing the Marvel brand and it has been damaged because of it. Not a great time to release a trailer for another female-centric Marvel movie featuring a bunch of derivative female Spider-Men. So naturally, that's what Sony went forth and did. In the last few days, there have been some attempts to blame toxic fans and all men for not supporting the all-female The Marvels, but by and large, these have been few and far between, because the numbers are in and they speak a very clear language. Of the, all in all, rather few that saw The Marvels in the first place, the majority were men. More than anyone else, it was the female audience, the very audience the movie pandered to, specifically so they would see themselves on screen, that refused to go. This indisputable fact, combined with the observation that audience faith in the Marvel brand has eroded significantly in the last few years, means that more and more now can say out loud what we used to be chided for and labeled as all manner of horrible things for pointing out.
Does a female character need to be spotlighted in every single project? Like at first it's like, whoa, calm down. So some female characters are, getting attention. Deal with it. But now I think all of us are like, it's getting to be a lot. What are you guys doing over there? And none of them are connecting. None of them are working.
Disney's big priority right now is preventing Marvel from becoming the next Star Wars, which is on life support. So now is the time to hard pivot. And that is indeed what we're seeing, most recently with director Destin Daniel Cretton no longer directing the next Avengers movie, the Kang Dynasty, and there are some major implications in that. In this editorial, we will look at Marvel's hard pivot, beginning with the news which suggests that the Kang storyline has been dropped. Then we'll continue with the other emergency measures Marvel has taken thus far, before concluding with why, in my opinion, this may not be enough. Way back on April 12th of this year, Midnight's Edge's very own Tom Connors broke the scoop that Jonathan Majors had been fired from the role of Kang the Conqueror. The link for that is in the description. At the time, we reported it as a rumor, since there was no third-party validation to be found, nor were there any additional pieces of news that lent it credence. But that was back in April. Now, almost to the day 7 months later, the picture is very different. On November 15th, The Hollywood Reporter reports that Avengers: The Kang Dynasty loses director Destin Daniel Cretton, but that the Shang-Chi director would remain in the Marvel fold as he's still directing the race-bent Wonder Man series and is still in line to direct a sequel to Shang-Chi. Even before the writer's strike, there were rumors that Jeff Loveness, the writer of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and the writer attached to the Kang Dynasty, had been taken off the Avengers movie, though at the time the speculation was that this was in response to the poor reception of Quantumania. Back then, few thought there was any chance the Kang Dynasty would be outright cancelled, although Jonathan Majors being recast because of his legal troubles seemed very much so to be on the table. But then in the last few days, rumors started swirling that the real reason Loveness had been taken off the movie was that Marvel were moving on from the Kang storyline. The ultimate source of this was Joanna Robinson, author of MCU: The Rise of Marvel Studios, whose most interesting observations have all come after the publishing of that highly curated partial rewrite of history. Still, that's a fairly credible source, and in light of the Loki finale, in which Loki defeated Kang and replaced him as He Who Remains, holding the multiverse together and giving everyone in it free will in the process, coupled with the news of the director now departing, I think we can safely conclude that Jonathan Majors will never return as Kang, and he won't be recast either. The Kang storyline is finished. Ant-Man can relax. The Kang he defeated is the only Kang there'll ever be, no worse is coming. alternate Loki defeated him outside of time and space, thus removing the entire Kang dynasty from existence. It would appear the Council of Kangs lost, and honestly, they won't be missed. Jonathan Majors may be a fine actor, but as Kang, he did nothing but chew the scenery, and none of the Kangs were ever written well. They were all a bunch of idiots and assholes, so now the Avengers Kang Dynasty movie can either be repurposed into something else, or better yet, be cancelled outright, so Marvel can get to Secret War faster and end this horrible period of the MCU, though there are signs they're trying to make it less horrible. For Marvel Studios, the writers and actor strikes were honestly the best thing that could have happened, because those prevented them from sinking even deeper into an unworkable direction than they already were. Marvel already knew they had problems. The aforementioned Joanna Robinson revealed earlier this year that Marvel freaked out at the poor reception to Quantumania, because they genuinely thought they had a good movie on their hands that the audience would respond to. But they didn't, and that told Marvel that they had lost their barometer for what the audience likes. Hold that thought, as I'll get back to that in a bit here, but the failure of the Marvels would have hammered in that even more. Marvel Studios today is out of sync with the audience. They can't give the audience what the audience wants because they don't know or understand what the audience wants. Case in point, the upcoming Falcon Black Captain America movie. That movie was done filming and far enough along that test screenings have been held, and those test screenings reportedly told them that they were sitting on another bomb, so the movie has been pushed back until 2025 and several months worth of reshoots are being scheduled. Enough time to reshoot the entire movie, which probably will be needed, because according to a scoop from WDW Pro, the movie was hyper-political and hyper-partisan, with the plot allegedly revolving around a certain politician who's very orange and very bad, as well as events surrounding a day in January, framed from the perspective of the Democratic Party. The Thunderbolts have also been pushed back, leaving Deadpool as the only MCU movie to be released next year. There will be more Marvel movies though. As we saw earlier, Sony will release another female-centric team of Spider-Man knockoffs in the guise of Madam Web, which is just what the Marvel brand needed right about now. No, it's not MCU.
There'll be adjuncts to it.
But it is the next Marvel movie in theaters, where it will be released on Valentine's Day. That's just a few weeks after Echo is due to be released on Disney+. And you will recall, Echo is yet another female-centric project. That's a lot of girl power between now and Deadpool next summer, very little of which is likely to enhance the Marvel brand. On the contrary, Deadpool is gonna have to be even better to even begin to make up for it. While I'm glad that Marvel are hard pivoting to try to fix their problems, I worry that it's not enough, because Marvel is still run by Kevin Feige. Yes, Victoria Alonso egged him on, and Bob Iger enabled him, but the person nonetheless the most responsible for the current state of the MCU is Kevin Feige. As we have seen in earlier videos, Feige had no role at all in creating the MCU in the first place. And during all the MCU movies that truly were great and built the Marvel brand to the unstoppable juggernaut it was there for a while, he had to abide by the mandates and rulings of Ike Perlmutter's Marvel Creative Committee. Only when Kevin Feige was unshackled from them and promoted to the head of Marvel Studios, and later stripped of any help from James Gunn, did he proceed to give us Phase 4 and the MCU. Kevin Feige isn't Marvel's savior. In recent years, he has, if anything, been its annihilator. The most recent rumor, hot off the press, is that Pedro Pascal allegedly has been cast as Mr. Fantastic, which, if true, would be Feige's call, and that does not fill me with confidence. Unless Feige is made to answer to Perlmutter again, or he gets help from someone like James Gunn, then I don't see him as being capable of pivoting in a way which can save the Marvel brand. But that's me. What about you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.